Modern marketing teaches you how to get clients by using persuasion tactics or scarcity techniques. But Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, teaches none of that. He shows how we can get clients with no gimmick and no lies. And yet, his methods are still outperforming today's gurus. And before he was actually a prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him, was known as Al Amin, or the trustworthy. Because people didn't just buy from him, they trusted him with their life savings. And in this video, I will show you how his approach to business can outperform any modern marketing, and how I used these timeless principles to build a six-figure consulting business online. The first one is reputation before revenue. Because the Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't rush to sell. He built a reputation first. Back then, he worked for Khadija radiallahu anha, and people noticed something when he worked for her. He didn't cheat it on the weights. He didn't give false promises, or he didn't even use any price manipulations. The modern lesson from this story is that reputation is your marketing, because when people trust your name, you don't need funnels, you don't need ads, you don't need any psychological persuasion techniques. And in my business, I actually stopped trying on closing people fast by using these urgency techniques. Instead, I gave value. I shared wisdom. I stayed consistent in my content. And people came to me. I didn't chase them. The next lesson is character closes more deals than any copywriting techniques. Because the Prophet, peace be upon him, never sold in manipulative sense. Instead, he served. He was honest even when it hurt. He returned items and gave refunds when needed. And he spoke gently even to rude people. The moral lesson here is that character is what converts, not copywriting. And in a world full of noise, scams, integrity is your competitive advantage. I used to overthink my script, the videos I created, the DMs. But now I actually lead with sincerity and directness. No fake urgency, no gimmicks. And guess what happens? My sales tripled. Because I'm true. I lead with character. I don't use any fake techniques. And the last lesson is to focus on barakah, which is divine blessing, not just any fancy marketing strategy. Because what made Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his trades flourished wasn't just because he had the skill. They flourished, they succeed because he had barakah. He never deceived, he never took more than what his due, and he gave without expecting in return. And today, most of the businesses collapse because they're chasing shortcuts. They're chasing the next quick strategy, the quick way to make money. But I've seen this time and time again. When I prioritize Allah over algorithms, over people, then provision comes from places that I never imagined. And this is also what my wallpaper says. It says that for those who fear Allah, He ever prepares a way out. And He provides for him from sources he could never imagine. And if anyone put his trust in Allah, sufficient is Allah for him. For Allah will surely accomplish His purpose. Verify if all of the things has Allah appointed a due preparation. This is actually from Surah Al-Tah, which is ayat 2 and 3rd. I remind myself consistently about this principle. And a real example is that actually I once lost a big client. He had a big business He was doing more than $15,000 in revenue with his coaching business, and I refused to lie on the call just to get him as a client because I could. I could lie, I could get him as a client, but I didn't because this is reminding me consistently about this principle. And that same week, the same week I turned this client, I had 3 inbound leads that I never expected, and I got 2 clients out of them. That's barakah. When you prioritize Allah over lying, over chasing, when you prioritize integrity and running business like the Prophet, peace be upon him, you get more barakah than you expect. And the sunnah isn't just for the masjid. It is a blueprint for building the kind of business that earns in dunya and pleases Allah in the akhirah. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, provided that the best marketing strategy is to lead with trust, serve with excellence, and never chase profit at the expense of principle.